This is Sexy Funny Raw, where we chat all about the world of sex, from dating and relationships all the way to the adult industry itself. I'm Silvia Saige, and this is my Pornspective, answering all the questions you weren't even brave enough to ask Google. Get ready, because Sexy Funny Raw starts now. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sexy Funny Raw. I am your host, Silvia Saige. Joined in studio with me is the lovely Dr. Eddie. Giving up his public health perspective. We love him for it. He does all the research for this show, and he is the only reason I have any facts whatsoever. All right. And joining us in studio for this month is the lovely comedian and actress, Ashley Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Oh, stop. You guys can sit down.
They love you, Ashley. The people love you. So this week, you guys, we're getting a little bit lighter because I feel like a lot of times we go very deep on subjects. But today, we're going to talk about something still very, very important. It is what not to do during sex, okay?
Don't do it.
And now, of course, this is going to vary from person to person because some of us may have different kinks than others and some things that you're okay with that I might not be okay with. So we might agree to disagree on a few things, but in general, these are probably just things to avoid during a sexual experience, right?
Absolutely.
First off, let's start by addressing our loved consent. I know we bring it up on almost every single episode, but my God, is it so very important. The conversations of what is about to be happening during your sex should always be first and foremost. We want to make sure that we're having sex that everybody is comfortable having, even if that means just having a safe word. You know, if we're about to explore new things, let's just have a way that we both know we've gone too far. I think Angeline last month brought up a very valid point. She said, green light, yellow light, red light. Green light, obviously go. Yellow light, whoa, I'm getting a little uncomfortable. And of course, red light being, this is it. This is my stopping point. So we just want to make sure that we're having communication and everyone's on the same page before we go through.
Just don't run those yellow lights, as you know.
I mean, it's definitely not okay to run those yellow lights. But sex is all about pleasure, right? And extremely intimate moments, which is why you should avoid anything that can like dampen those playful moments, right?
Yeah. And I hate that we like never learn about consent and sex ed.
Oh, absolutely not.
But one thing, like at Burning Man, they talk about consent a lot because like it's a festival. You need to make sure everyone's consenting. But one thing that they do a lot there that I really like is a guy will ask you if he can hold your hand when you're walking. And I love when a guy does that because like it lets you like it verbalizes that he's into you and just like lets you know rather than just simply doing it.
Right.
And I love like just having that like verbalization of it.
Yeah. No, it's great because, I mean, let's set boundaries with some people because obviously not everyone is even into physical touch.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about people like Howie Mandel. He can't even shake somebody's hand. He's such a germaphobe. So imagine walking up to this man and just grabbing his hand. This would send him into a full-on panic. Yeah. And you don't know what spaces people are okay with and what they're not with. So
not right in the pussy, that's for sure.
Right, not without
Mr.
some lube.
Ex-president.
Right. Not without some consent and some lubrication. God damn it! And let's talk about it because that's one of the number one things. Let's not have sex without some lubrication. All right, it can be dangerous. It is not pleasureful. Let's make sure that spit is not your number one run-to game. Like there should be lubrication.
They never taught us about that either.
100%
back in the day,
they don't.
like I know now, like a lot of times in porn, they'll have like a bottle there, maybe if it's sponsored or something. Not even all the time.
Then, yeah.
But yeah, like I never knew about that, and my first couple of times were painful.
Yes.
Maybe I think the guys I was with were just assholes and like didn't I don't know.
Or they also didn't know.
I was like, wow, sex hurts.
Because it's also something they probably weren't taught that is like a normal thing to do. And it's weird because now, even in like today's society, I still feel like sometimes even lubrication is kind of like looked down upon and like, oh, you can't just get naturally wet. Like, well, no, I feel like even in my 20s, I still should have been using this lubrication, whether I was naturally lubricated or not. It's still just the safer way to be having sex. So no, and there can lead to rips and tears, which can lead to more infections, and just a dangerous game all the way around. But I will tell you the porn thing. So even in porn, which this kind of makes me a little sick, but what we do is if you have to get lube, they will cut away from the area you're about to put lube on. So they'll pan up to your face. They'll get your facial expressions while someone is putting lube on your vagina or on your penis.
Oh my God.
Yes. It's completely out of sight. It's so crazy.
I actually got to put lube on someone.
For a porn scene?
Yeah, no, I was at a party in Palm Springs at like one of the nudie hotels, and they were filming, and it was someone I'm friends with, and I was wearing like blue long evening gloves, and they were like, "We need lube," and I like was nearby a bottle of lube, and I ran up and I like made sure my hands were on camera, like grabbed his dick, and then I like put the lube on like just like so like a hot dog commercial, like so perfectly, and then I like made sure to like touch like the inside tip. I don't know. It was so funny. I don't know if that actually made it in. I hope it did.
I mean, I hope so too. Yeah. I hope that your blue long gloves giving
I'm like, I was like the Vanna White or the Vanna White of porn. What is it? Vanna
White. Yeah. Vanna White of pornography.
I'm just happy someone's using lube.
I wish that was my job.
No, yeah.
Just because before everybody gets drier as we get a little older. Guys often don't masturbate with lube, right? Sometimes they'll have lotion and stuff, but you can use saliva a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily translate over. And so it does become really dangerous, as you mentioned, because it does create tears.
Yeah.
And those are like entrance points for potentially all sorts of things. And so it becomes really dangerous. And so I think the biggest takeaway from this one is definitely that we should be using lube all the time. And it doesn't have to take away from the moment. It doesn't have to take away from any of those, like the hotness of it.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to be doing it in a park with your partner in a tent, take some lube.
I keep the lube in the same place I keep the condoms, right next to the bed. All my sex toys, all my everything is right next to the bed. There's no way I'm not going to get it.
But there is a no when it comes to lube, and
there is.
For me, it was in college. Like, I think we went to the sex store for the first time, and then they're like, "Here's flavored ones," and sometimes those can cause a burning sensation if you try to use it with penetration. They're more just like to put on outside things and lick. They're not like actually like for insertion.
I do agree with that. There are many wrongs actually to lubrication. So one of the most like the things that we use most in porn is usually coconut oil, but coconut oil goes bad. And so, so a lot of times they were using these vats of coconut oil, and then people are just digging their grimy hands into it, different sets and different days. And meanwhile, all of the bacteria from your hands is getting into this same vat, and they're just using it over and over again. That's what I'm saying. I get the individual packets. There's individual little packets of coconut oil that you can get, and I love those because I can take them to set and just toss them. But that is something that like people don't think about. Like stuff like that does go bad. It does gain bacteria. The bacteria grows inside of that, and then you're putting it back into your vagina or your anus, and it's like
the makeup counter at Mac. You're just not supposed to put those lipsticks to your actual lips.
Don't put the lipstick to your lips. It is dangerous.
It's like you're growing combust.
Yes, it's a dangerous game you're playing. But
I strongly recommend water-based lubricants.
Yes.
I know
Wait, why is that?
So let's talk about that.
I prefer
non-water-based, like oil-based?
Like silicone, like in my face. What's in my face? I want in my hole.
It's already in my body. Same girl, same.
So it's going to depend if we're using condoms or not.
Right.
It depends on the type of condom, whether they're latex condoms or otherwise. And so there's certain combinations that go really well together.
And some that don't.
And we just have to be cautious about them, right?
Right.
So the oil-based don't necessarily go with the latex, and so could potentially break more if you're using condoms, which everyone should be using condoms. But if you're not using condoms, then it matters less.
Yeah.
The oil-based lubricants might last longer than coconut oil on the skin or on the moment. Oil-based might last longer than that, but then that creates a problem if you're using condoms. And now we're not doing weird complex math, but there are some combinations that are safer and better and are better for the experience. Ultimately, we want to have the best sex possible that's safe and comfortable for everybody. So we should all use vats of lube. All the time.
Safe new vats of lube.
New vats of lube sounds wild.
Okay, just don't use vats of lubrication. Let's just start there.
I think that's fair.
I don't even know if regular lubrication goes bad, but I do know at least coconut oil 100% goes bad.
Not to my knowledge as far as bad. They don't necessarily have expiration dates.
Okay.
Some of them do, depending on what they're made out of, right?
Okay.
So coconut oils or those based in that area, yes.
Okay. Okay.
The water-based ones won't, depending on if it's open, if it's closed.
Right.
There are some of those things because bacteria can get into all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's going to depend. We have to treat our lube carefully, lovingly.
Yeah.
It's giving us a lot of pleasure, and it's making life better and safer for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And so I think we just have to be a little bit more thoughtful about intention. A little bit of planning. It's not a ton of planning. I don't need everyone to have an itinerary about it. But like, have a bottle of lube in your car.
Yeah. Or in your car. or in your purse.
Right, wherever it is.
On your person, wherever.
At all times.
Yeah.
Sure,
just
a little backpack
always
full
have
of
some lube.
Of that next to your bed that you can pump that's sealed.
Yeah.
Then that's different, I think.
I have a little like packet. It's like a little tiny purse that I call my sex purse because it has my lube and it has my condoms and all my things in it. And I'm like, this is my little sex purse. It's got a little travel toothbrush.
My pussy pouch.
Yeah, basically.
My pussy pouch, girl.
It really is. But I'm always ready for sex. So
I have a big glass jar. So if you walk into my bathroom, the big glass jar is like in a shelf back there.
your
So you
sex.
see.
Yeah.
So you have
Your
full of
sex
condoms
jar?
and then full of lube.
yeah.
I just have a suitcase that I take with me.
I'm going to need a lot of things
My
with me.
glass jar is also decoration.
Oh, okay. Good. Good. I love
Have
it.
more sex is what it's saying.
With me.
Right.
Have more sex
Right.
with me.
Right.
So so obviously there are personal things that are like yeses and no's for us. Ashley, what do you think are a few of your like personal big no-nos?
So my biggest no-nos are do not touch the hair and be gentle with the skin because I do not want my spray tan messed up. And I mean, any girl that looks like her hair is a Pantene commercial.
It's probably not hers.
Yeah, you don't want to pull her hair. It costs thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like if you look like me or Sylvia.
It's not ours.
But
not all of it anyway.
Yeah, you can still be into hair pulling, but it's more of just like the act of like, it's like a gentle, you're like doing it fake, like a stunt.
Yeah.
And it will still turn you on. But I once had a guy who was just like going crazy at it. And then like after it, like maybe like the next like 2 days, my hair was just like falling out. And I like got so mad at him.
Oh no, I would be actually.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like it takes years to get like, especially like when you're a trans, like part of your identity.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm very lucky. My sex is typically not followed, but begins with a checklist of what's okay. So I will physically be like, do not touch my hair, and it does not all belong to me. Like the scene's gonna look real awkward when you pull out half the hair, So, but I think that's a huge one. And your skin. No, like, we don't want to mess up your spray tan, but I think a big thing is like no bruising, no hickeys.
Rough sex doesn't mean actually hurting you.
No, it definitely doesn't.
Absolutely does not. I should not have any marks on my body.
I agree with that.
Otherwise, it's not pleasurable after.
I agree, because I also like rough sex, but that's a big thing for me, especially because I work in adult. If I show up to a scene with bruises of any kind, I could have fallen down, and I will show up with a bruise, and they're like, we can't shoot you today. Not with that bruise on your leg.
I do not want to show up to Christmas dinner and have a hickey on my neck.
Oh my God, how embarrassing, especially as adults. I feel like it's one thing
do have a story.
as a child, but
I worked at this
teenager. Child sounds bad.
Yeah.
Let me say teenager.
I worked at a Christian summer camp when I was in college, and every 4th of July we'd have like a week off, and 2 years in a row I came back with hickeys on my neck, and I went and got makeup, and then I said a Roman candle hit me.
Oh no. Did you get away with that?
To some people, but then other people were like,
no way.
Bitch.
Yeah, no way. A hickey is how my mom found out I snuck out of the house the first time I ever snuck out.
Really?
I came back with hickeys, and she was like, what is that on your neck? How did you get out of this house? And then
How did you get out of
found
this
out how
house?
I was sneaking out.
The back door, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
I cut the bars, Mom. I cut the bars. Jumped out the window.
Yeah. No, it's too telling. I just feel like, especially as adults, I feel like, and if you do want to leave a hickey, leave it somewhere where it's not going to be like shown for like business or going to get coffee. Like I don't feel like you should be wearing your sex tails on your body, but to each their own. Maybe that's your thing.
Or talking about them. We could just be talking about them.
Well, I mean, we talk about our sexual experiences very loud at the table. We were definitely the lunch table to listen to today.
We
so.
sure were.
Nothing wrong with that. So that's your number one. Don't pull my hair. Don't leave marks on my body.
Yeah.
That's your biggest. Yeah.
And then I think another one gets into kinks too, and making sure that your partners are into the same kinks you are.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a dirty kink that involves like, you know, spitting or just any of the other things that make you feel dirty. But yeah, I have a friend who he was having sex with someone and the guy spit in his mouth. He thought it would be hot. And his immediate knee-jerk reaction was to punch the guy in the face and knock him out. And
that's pretty normal, I feel like.
Yeah, he was very upset about this because he's not into spit. And so
it's so common in porn now, it seems.
It is.
Depending on what type of porn you're watching. It's become like a huge thing where a lot of scenes always involve that kind of level. Maybe it's just the kind of
maybe that's your search. That's not my search. I can't even see people's faces in my search because I know so many porn people.
Oh, that's fair.
I have to go to the no face people because I'm like, oh, it's so nice. I don't know who they are.
But it's always great to double check too, because like some of the things, like I am into spit, but then like if your hygiene doesn't look as great, or if you smoke cigarettes, do not kiss me.
Yeah,
like I can't handle it.
Well, and see, I'm the same. You can spit on my vagina or spit on my tits or something, but if you spit in my face, I would also punch you out. I think I've definitely been in a situation where a man did spit in my mouth, and I remember just being so taken aback. But he was also like he was a Las Vegas performer, and we had a performance in bed. So I'm pretty sure right after he spit in my mouth, he like spun me around and flipped me in some weird way. And I was didn't even have time to react. I was like, well,
Cirque
here we
du
go.
Soleil over there.
It was Cirque du Soleil. It was Cirque du Soleil in the bedroom. And it was
good for you.
Fantastic.
Was there like a little trapeze?
It was great. I felt like there should have been. Yeah. Because there was definitely a lot of like, I was just being tossed around like a
maybe that's
rag doll.
do. Have a trapeze bar above your bed.
Yeah.
Fuck me on the ceiling. I want to.
What I'm saying is do fuck this Vegas performer. That's what I'm saying.
Which one was it?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
We still follow each other on Instagram, so I know he sees me. I see you. Just saying.
Add it to your wish list, everyone.
Yeah.
Trapeze. Got it.
And then I would say another one is trying new things. You need to make sure you know what you're doing. And a big one that happened to me within the past year was someone tried to choke me, and like there's choking during sex, and then there's choking like you're killing.
Right.
And they misinterpreted like choking like they're trying to kill. And they were a big muscle guy, and they put like all their weight on this like bone. It feels like a bone. There's not actually a bone there. Is there? No. Like this, what's it called? Tracheal. And they put like their full body weight on it.
Oh my God.
I was bruised and hurt to swallow every time I swallowed for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I like hated this person.
Wow.
And I would text him how mad I was at him.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, because really though, if you are going to be a person that's into the choking fantasy and role play, it is a very, very light grip onto
it's
the
like
neck.
Down here though, right?
Yeah, but it's not even, you're not even applying like a
it's
pressure.
Just the lightest amount. That's all you need.
Yeah. And it's not choking to kill. You're right. It's a sexual fantasy, and it's more like I feel like it's more like a control thing. And I know that sometimes people use it for like erotic asphyxiation. Why can't I say the word?
Yeah.
Asphyxiation.
But even that's light. You don't have to do much pressure.
Right. But I think that's also where people go wrong in the hanging themselves in the middle of trying to masturbate. That's obviously extreme. Don't do that.
Wait, how many times has that happened?
Quite a few.
I mean,
oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Trying to do it themselves in a masturbation scenario.
Like mostly guys or girls do that too?
No, this is a male-based thing. I don't know if it's strictly female.
Men, but I know
I would say
maybe.
I would without doing any research. I would.
They don't have as many ties in their closet.
Right.
They do feel like a noose.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So interesting. So getting back to this one subject of lubrication, because you said earlier that a lot of men don't masturbate with lubrication. Sometimes they will with lotion, which is weird to me that you would be rubbing lotion that much into your penis, but
planning, right? So it's about planning, convenience, and all of those things. Right?
Yeah.
So not everybody wants to plan for the masturbation, even though it happens every day, most likely. Right. And so having lube there then requires you to potentially get up and wash off. Whereas without it, and if it's just lotion, you orgasm, you could just wipe it off, go to bed.
But one of our big don't do's is jerking a dry dick. So are you jerking your own dry dicks?
So some guys are. It depends on if you're circumcised or not, I suppose.
Right.
And so there's going to be some variables there.
Okay.
I know for sure that some people use lotion because it's usually readily available.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm sure some people.
I'm going to start buying everybody lube and just putting in their stockings for Christmas because I feel like this lotion thing is just not going to cut it. And if anyone ever tried to put lotion on their dick before entering into my vagina, I would shoot you dead on the spot because how awful to go inside of me.
Also, Pam does work.
What? No, you did not. Have you ever sprayed Pam?
Yeah, Pam is Pam.
Just for masturbation.
I've met Pam before. Yeah.
Just for masturbation.
No.
I would avoid.
I was like, Dr. Eddie, where are you?
I would avoid things you find in your kitchen,
including the old coconut oil. That's where I was at.
Yeah.
The old coconut oil, also not a good place to go.
But if you are in a bind, what is the best culinary thing to use?
What are the best kitchen items to masturbate with?
When you're at like your grandma's house and the milkman comes by, where do you go? What do you grab?
I mean, the gold standard would be to plan ahead and always have a little bit of lube with you, even if there's those small travel size. They used to give them away at a lot of gay clubs and a lot of clubs in general.
Yeah.
Those little ones are awesome. They're easy to put everywhere.
Yeah.
And so for years, you could find them everywhere. I don't know where you totally find them. I know at conferences and stuff. A little bit of planning goes a long way for better sex, period.
Than
right?
Crisco does, for sure.
But of course, Crisco is going to work. So everything you're saying, of course, works. It's just not something that you want to do long term. It could potentially cause infections.
I'm just thinking about my pH level more than anything.
Well,
but you don't have to worry about a pH level in an anus, so maybe it might be.
Is that like a thing? Different like pH like level lubes or
no, but the pH level of the vagina can also create a variety of problems for women.
Yeah,
and so if that is off somehow, which often happens if you're douching too much and all of those things, if the pH balance goes off, you can get BV, you can get a bunch of things. And so to avoid all of that stuff, you want to not put things inside, et cetera, et cetera. If you're just cleaning, you're really just doing the vulva on the outside and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
However, if you are stuck and you have to use Crisco, of course they use Crisco. You can use Crisco. They've used it before.
Really?
Any of those things can be used, but I wouldn't ever recommend them.
Okay.
Ever.
No recommendation from Dr. Eddie, but still an option.
I mean, not a long-term option. Everybody just plan a little bit ahead. It's not even a lot of planning. Just a little bit of planning will make everybody's sexual experience that much better because the milkman might even have a packet in his car.
There you go. I mean,
here's hoping. He
could have a little sex bag like I do. You know, who knows?
It doesn't have to be a full-on sex bag. It could just be a lube and a condom.
Yeah.
In the old days, young guys used to put the condom in your wallet.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but you didn't put lube in there.
Yeah. But even those condoms expire.
They do,
gentlemen.
for sure. And some condoms have more lube, right?
Yeah.
So like magnums are lubricated a little bit more, so you can get a little bit further. And so it's going to depend on the condom brand.
Right.
And so that helps some.
Okay.
But then if you're adding Crisco to it, you're already in a problem because it's going to break the condom.
I love it. Okay. So some other things not to do. Let's just start with some basics that I would think that are truly big no-nos. Let's not call out your ex's name during sex. I've had that happen. I had a boyfriend actually call me the wrong name in the middle of sex, and we were on a trip with a bunch of his other friends, and we were camping. So we were in tents, and everyone like heard him say the wrong name. So when I like stormed out of the tent, everybody was like, "Oh, that's he made a bad move there.
That's so hard.
It
only
is.
because you get so used to,
the
especially
same
in
name.
those relationships, you get so used to it, you don't even think about it sometimes.
Oh, so you've done it. This is coming from a defense
No,
place.
oh my God. No, but I am saying that I can see how it can certainly happen.
Yeah.
Only because I know I've been in relationships where you're so used to saying the name.
Yeah.
I've been very close to saying the wrong name, not thinking about your ex, but just
saying it in general.
it's like sometimes people do that with their kids. They'll say the name of one kid
Well,
and another
right.
kid, or your dog's name.
But way different when you're in the middle of intercourse,
That's
though.
totally true. You're right.
And I don't even say names, honestly. If I can't think of your name, or if it's not like right there, I'm just baby. You are, hey baby. You know, you're like,
hey you. You.
I'm really into you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so screwy.
Don't say names if you don't know the name. If you're taking a wild guess, probably don't do it.
But if it does happen, right, do we want to dwell on it and deal with it?
Yes, we want to dwell on it. Yes, I did want to dwell on it.
Two different perspectives, I think. I think we have two different perspectives. Because if it is an accident, it's not with malintent.
Right.
Like, that, it's going to hurt you, yes, but it also hurts me to have said it.
Right.
Right? And so I didn't want to ruin the whole camping adventure. Right? And so now it could potentially ruin the whole camping adventure. So, like, why don't we all be a little bit kinder to each other a little bit?
Yeah.
And, like, guys, don't do it. People, don't do it.
I made it through the camping trip. That's fine. Yeah.
I think it's hard. I think that's a hard one.
This is why we should wear name tags during sex.
Do you mind just putting this around your neck really quick so I don't forget what to call you?
My name is.
Yeah. Okay. Another big one for me, and I really wanted to talk about this because I feel like porn really sells this one in the wrong direction, and it is ATM, folks. And I'm not talking about getting cash out of a machine. I'm talking about pulling a dick from your ass to your mouth. It is a huge no-no for so many reasons, but I feel like it happens in pornography a lot. And you've seen it in my movies, but what you haven't seen is the cut. What you don't see is that right when they pull out the dick and they have me saying, put it in my mouth, put it in my mouth, he goes and washes his penis and then comes right back over to my mouth. So it's never actually going from my anus to my mouth without a wash. It is a very dangerous place to be. Don't do it.
I mean...
Everyone got real silent.
I don't think we're watching the same OnlyFans. The stuff that I've seen, I feel like you guys don't. Yeah.
No one's stopping. There's no cuts.
No.
What I'll say about that, public health wise, is that it's not a good idea. We should be really cautious. Even if you can't see anything, there's still stuff there.
Yeah.
No matter how clean we are,
Agreed.
There's stuff in our rectum, right?
Yes.
And so just to cut down on potential infections, to cut down on bacteria, to cut down on those things, it takes a second.
It does.
Even
take
if it's a warm towel
Yes.
next to bed with a little bit of preparation, everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So a little bit of planning goes a long way for all of these things. You don't have to write a book before you do it, but there's a lot of different infections that can occur on both ends, right? So if you go ass to mouth and then go back, like all sorts of things depending on dental care, all of those kinds of things. If you have something in your throat, whatever the case may be, dangerous areas to be co-mingling, I think.
In the same way of ass to mouth, ass to vagina, also hugely bad. That is where you will get definitely a bacterial infection of that sort because you're literally taking things from your ass and now putting them in the most like pristine body cleaning area. Yeah. And like it can only do so much of its own cleaning, but once that bacteria is in there.
We say not to wipe in specific directions.
Yes, exactly it. Exactly why you don't come up forward, you go backwards with everything because getting that bacteria into the vagina can be really detrimental. So, and
you can't always see it. But it's there, right? And so we just have to be careful and kind to each other, and no one wants that.
Unless they want it.
Different kinks, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, and everyone is into different things, and I think these are some of just our like personals. Dr. Eddie, do you have any personals that you would say or just your hardcore nose?
My list is long, but I'll start with not kissing.
Oh, okay. So you need to be kissing is what we're saying.
I do, right?
Yeah.
So only because I think there's like an emptiness sometimes.
Okay. Yep.
And so that emptiness we're trying to fill with frivolous sex sometimes.
Right.
And then we walk away unsatisfied because it was not what we wanted or not what we needed.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying that that's all I do. However, the kissing adds a level of intimacy that creates a different experience for me. And so I'd say kissing is a really important one, a big one, because it makes us share a moment. It's intimate, but that's not what everybody wants, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that creates a problem when that's what some people need, and then others don't. Right?
It's interesting because I've definitely had it both ways. I've had sex with passionate kissing, and I've had sex with no kissing whatsoever, especially in my work, because I do sometimes feel like kissing might be too intimate for what we're doing, like especially what I'm doing on film. So I can go either way with kissing and sex, if I'm being honest. I don't necessarily need it, but I do understand like wanting that connection and feeling that. So what else? Are there any big ones, Dr. Reddy, that I see one that I really want to talk about, but go.
Well, I mean, treating sex like pornography. I think is a big one.
Yeah.
Only because we talk about it so much, but sometimes people come to an event thinking that it's going to be a lot like the things that are watched in the adult film industry, but that's not necessarily functionally how things work. That's not the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Spitting, ass to mouth,
hair pulling,
all of those things. Sometimes that's not exactly right. And so there's a time and a place, I think, for all of those things. And if I'm going into the event thinking that that's what I want and we're clear about it, that's different. But treating it like a porn,
that's a big no-no for you.
That's a big no-no for me.
Yeah. Okay, go.
I wanted that.
Right. Unless we've specifically agreed beforehand that we want to be thrown around and
days that end in Y.
Right.
Period.
I think for me, the biggest one is got to be no criticizing in bed. Don't criticize your partner. Don't look for flaws in what they're doing. Look for ways of improvement. Yes. And of communication, of saying like, maybe do it this way instead of doing it this way. But I think saying you're doing that wrong or something of that nature. Or I know personally, I've had men who have made like critiques on my body prior to sex, and then I was like, well, now I don't want to have sex with you. So like I'm turned off from your lack of like, I don't know, and like I want you to be so enthralled with me that like you just can't think of being with any other person other than me. So I don't want you to find any flaw with me. So I need you to compliment and not criticize is basically what I'm saying. And I think for a lot of men, being in a place of like criticism will end sex completely because your dick and your brain are so connected that the moment one of them gets off, the other is like done for, right?
I mean, that certainly can happen for sure. And men are sensitive.
I feel everyone is.
We're all sensitive. It's true.
Yeah. Ashley, are there any more that you are just like, this is my absolute no, will not go, do not pass go?
I'm laughing because I just read the checking social media, which I kind of experienced like really hardcore recently.
Oh, during sex?
I got super excited because I was hooking up with this 18-year-old. And I went over to his house. He's like in his parents' bedroom while they're like at work.
Oh,
it was kind of hot. I was like, ooh, look at me, like pulling an 18-year-old. I really got it going on. And then he, like, I don't know, is that like Gen Z or whatever?
I guess. I don't
know. He was on like literally social media the entire time.
Wow,
He was on Snapchat, and do you know what was going on? I was like trying to read the messages, like
if it's
on
so
his Snapchat,
important,
like literally, and he was texting his ex on Snapchat, like having these crazy conversations
in the middle of your sex.
And
wow. Did you just finish and leave?
I'm like, eyes up here.
Yeah. I'm gonna need you to pay attention. No, I get it. So I can't imagine anyone checking social media when I'm in bed with them. I would be I would throw your phone. I'm that girl. I'm so petty. I would be like, we are not.
I thought it was kind of interesting. I was like studying him. I was like, wow, people are like this. Like,
interesting.
This is what like young people are like.
This is what it's like.
But they literally just couldn't disconnect though. I'm like, I bet like it's probably like a phone addiction that like it wasn't like me. Like I know it's not me. Like
I take my phone into the shower for TikTok sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean,
I hate the phone. Like I think when you're with your friends, like it's better. Like I was in Joshua Tree last weekend, and we just had no service, so people don't have their phones.
Right. Yeah.
And then someone found like a Wi-Fi password, and I was just like, no, please do not. Like,
I'm a big fan of that too. When I'm with people, like I will physically not have my phone around me. Like I can check things later. Like now, if I had like a sick family member or something, I might have my phone like out on the table.
It makes you a happier person too when you don't have your phone and you're like having to talk to someone.
Don't check your phone during sex. That's so rude. Don't answer the call from your mom. My mom calls almost every single time I have sex. I don't know if it's mother's intuition or what. I swear to God, though, there was almost never a time when I was on a porn set where my phone didn't ring and I was like, it's my mom. I'm about to have sex. She knows. She feels it. She's trying to stop it. But no. I continue. Don't answer the phone. Don't check your social media. Learn what lubes are going to work for you, right? Yeah. Get the correct lubes. Do a little preparing, maybe have a little consent talk, have some lube on the bedside table, have some wet towels maybe so we can wipe off that dick, pull it out of your ass, put it back in your mouth, but do it safely,
One more.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I don't think you guys said it yet, but not warning your partners about Climax. And I like this one in particular because if you tell me like at least 15 to 30 seconds ahead of time, I'll make sure it happens at the exact same time.
Oh, you can do that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
Like if you don't tell me when it's happening, I will like miss
Can't
it.
prepare.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know.
And a dual orgasm is so much hotter. Yeah. Why is that? Why is two people meeting climax at the same time so much more intense? Do we have a?
Because then you're like,
he's like, I have no idea.
You're like, oh, get off of me at the exact same time. Jinx.
You could both run to the restroom.
Are you gonna get the towel, or do I get the towel?
Yeah. You're experiencing the
Whoever
same
is on top gets the towel.
Whoever's the Pop-Tart,
Let's be honest.
lays there, and
there's always someone on top and someone on the bottom, even if it's like doggy or whatever. Because even if I'm like doggy and you come on my back, I'm like, I'm gonna stay right here. You go get the things, but if I'm on top, obviously it's my job. I'm first up. Be right back. All right. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like it. So let them know when you're about to climax so you can climax together. And if she hasn't climaxed, maybe hold the fuck off for a second. All right? Let her get there. Let her get there. Takes us a little bit more time. We will get there.
Depends if he's giving the right attention to the right place.
Well, right. Yeah, that's another one.
It's not vaginal.
Yeah. Right. Pay attention to all the genitals, please, if we could. All right, Dr. Eddie, anything else you can think about?
Don't go in dry, but on that note.
Ashley, any last things that you need to throw in before we wrap this Don't Do episode up?
No, I just wish I knew more about what things I could use in the kitchen.
Coming soon.
Peanut butter. No, I'm just kidding.
We need like a sex and cooking show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we can make that happen.
The problem is you don't want food anywhere near inside any part, right?
Oh,
and so food stuff is also a variable. So kitchen becomes a...
So the kitchen is a no-no in general.
It can be a dangerous place. I would stay away from it. Just a little bit of planning.
What about bananas?
So hot.
Can they be inside?
Cucumbers.
Bananas out of.
Yeah. What about cucumbers? Come on.
Seem safe.
No.
Cucumbers seem safe.
Seem safe, but you don't know what happened to the cucumber.
I'm like, I will fuck a cucumber. I've never even bought a cucumber without thinking about how I'm going to fuck it.
Has the cucumber been cleaned? Has it been used?
Yes, of course I'm going to clean the cucumber.
Well, but there's other variables because bacteria grow on the skin of cucumbers. Yeah, all of those things you have to consider, right? So if you're like,
put a condom on your cucumber.
Yes, I'm on board.
Okay, great. You can fuck your cucumbers. Just put a condom on them. All right. Anything else we need to throw?
Now that we got the grocery list out of the way,
Aisle 2
Oh my God, this might have been my favorite episode so far. All right, Ashley, tell the people where they can find you.
Ashley Ryan TV on all social medias.
Beautiful. And you are going to want to find her. She's one of my favorite humans. So thankful to have you in studio. Thank you so much. And Dr. Eddie, thank you as always. I know you did not give us a whole lot of public perspective on this, but we got your perspective, and that's good enough for me. So until next time, guys, adios.